Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna attempt to teach you how to get the most range out of your car possible. And this is not just me talking, this is something that I've tested, I've been through, and I can accomplish on my 2017, late 2017 Model S 100D. It's not rated anywhere near what I am accomplishing. So I am accomplishing currently with my car close somewhere between 600 and 650 kilometers on a full charge. This is not that difficult to do, but I use certain tricks to make that possible. Take care of your acceleration. One of the side benefits of having a Tesla is it's ridiculously powerful when it comes to the acceleration. It doesn't matter which model you have. They are just so much fun, pushing that pedal and just bam, you're gone. But the negative effects of that is you lose range, and you lose range really, really fast. But there is a way around it, and for most people, they don't realize that for your everyday drive, you don't need to have these crazy powerful accelerations. What you need is a regular everyday car, and it's possible to do that with a Tesla. My God, these roads. So one of the ways to do that is putting your car into chill mode. Very easy. Bring up your menu, go into driving. In the menu, go into your driving. The very first thing says acceleration, standard, or chill. Put it into chill. Now I'll give you guys a little warning here. When you put it into chill, you're going to notice your car is dramatically slower when it comes to takeoffs, which is really what you're looking for. This is what you want, because if the car is slower on takeoff, then you're not using up that much more energy. Everyday drives use chill mode. The biggest benefit of using chill mode, in my opinion, has to do with the very obvious one, I guess, has to do with the fact that you come to appreciate your standard mode, so your true power, a lot more when you decide that you just kind of want to go out and play with your car. So by being on there all the time, you become very accustomed to having all that torque and having all that power. And so it becomes part of you. You don't appreciate that same torque anymore because, you've had the car for 6 months or a year. And you're basically always doing this. Now, unless you're going out and going into another car every day, you're really going to become so accustomed to it, you won't even realize how much power you really do have. So by taking your car and putting it into chill mode, whenever you're not playing around with it, you're essentially creating, what you're doing is you're creating an everyday vehicle, something that, you're just hanging around in traffic, you're going through the city, you're going to work and back. So you have a vehicle that is kind of on par with more or less with everyone else. It doesn't have a crazy acceleration, hence it's just a nice, calm, relaxing drive. But when you do want to mess around a little bit, you can. That's the beauty of it. You'll be able to just go back in the same menu and push, go on to standard, and here you go. You have all that power back up, running again. And that's really when you start appreciating, holy moly, this car has a lot of power. Now, I highly recommend all of you who are Tesla owners, give this method a try. If you're not going to give this method a try, you're truly losing out. Trust me on it. The people who have listened to me on it, they really saw a massive, massive difference. So to recap, what you want to do is put your car into chill mode, drive it in chill mode every day for, let's say, a week, and then during the weekend, put it into standard and let the car go and have fun. Okay, what is a second system? The second system that I tell everybody is, has to do with your regen braking. Most people don't use their regen braking, and even if they think they use it, they're using it to a very minuscule amount. Let's put it that way. Basically what that means is you're not using regen to its fullest potential. And the way to do that is really practice. Get a sense of how strong your regen really is. Once you know how strong your regen is, then you know where you should start basically letting off the pedal. And by the time you get to your stop point, you're going to be at the point where the car is literally at a maybe half a foot from the stop where you actually apply your foot to the brake. That is something that's going to help you, because once you understand how regen works and you start applying regen, earlier, and you start applying brake later, you're actually building up that regen. You're helping the car get a little bit of juice back. It may not be a lot, but if you think about it, in a single day, the amount of times you basically have to come to a stop, if you were to add all those up throughout the day, it really adds up, and it adds up dramatically. I've noticed this on my car. I gave it a try, and wham bam, I am happy as a little camper, because all of a sudden I'm getting a little bit more power than I expected. I'm getting a little bit more range than I expected. The third thing I should say to that is going to be the negative impact of regen braking. Most of you guys have come to me and asked me about, there's a squeal, there's a squeak coming from your brakes, and that makes sense. The reason it's coming from your brakes is because you're basically drying out your brakes. You're not using it. You're not really, the brakes are not, well, like with any vehicle, if the brakes are not in use, then they're gonna start making noises, and that's just the way it is. So once in a while, something I talked to Tesla about, Tesla advised me I can do this, or I should do this once in a blue moon. I would recommend doing one of two things. Number one, either take your car once a year, take your car down to Tesla, let them look at your brakes, maybe make a few fine-tuning adjustments. Or there's also the other option, which is bring your vehicle up to speed, so somewhere where it's safe. I really cannot emphasize this enough. Somewhere where it's completely open, you are 100% sure there's nothing on the road. Bring your vehicle somewhere around 100 kilometers an hour, so about 70, 80 miles an hour, and then just slam on your brakes. And that's going to heat up your brakes, burn off any basically crap that's on your brakes. You want to do that, and if you can do that, that squeal will actually go away. Again, to me, I would rather take the car into Tesla and let them look at your brakes, let them do their thing. At least they are the ones doing it, and you're not making you're not going at stupid speeds basically to try and burn off stuff from your brakes. So let Tesla do it if at all possible. If not, then like I said, just bring your car way up to speed, and a sudden brake that heats up your brakes. As it heats up the brakes, it also burns off all the crumb from the brakes. It stops your squeal. With that said, I would like to point out that I have done this method, and it doesn't last that long, so you'd have to do it quite often. The way I use regen is that I don't really use my brakes to start with. I use regen to its maximum capacity that I possibly can. So for me, my brakes dry out pretty quick. I would like to point out too, if you're gonna go through like a car wash or anything like that, you're also putting a lot of crumb onto your brakes, so that might also account for it. Squeaky brakes, nothing new. I've had this in some of my very high-end cars. I have had it in my low-end cars, so that's nothing new. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Let's talk about just general driving. And general driving in a Tesla is very different than general driving in any other car. In a car, in your typical car, you have your general driving, but it's just blah. Basically it's what we a lot of the people in the car world have come to know as, granny driving. Well, granny driving is a very good method actually, because when you're driving like granny, what you're doing is, well, you're driving like a grandma. You're not speeding up fast. You're not taking corners at ridiculous speeds, and you're maintaining your speed at a certain rate. You're not trying to get from 0 to 50 just like that, but rather you kind of gradually get there. You're not weaving in and out of traffic. What you're doing is you're maintaining your acceleration at a standard point. Now, if you guys want to know and learn how to do this, pay very close attention to what autopilot is doing. The reason autopilot is so efficient is because it maintains the speed at a constant rate. And one of the advantages, one of the things about batteries is when you maintain the same amount basically of draw. So when you're asking for power from the battery, you don't want it to spike up and down. What you want it to do is you kind of want a smooth flow of power. If you're pushing the pedal very hard or letting off, pushing it, nonstop, you're playing with it, you're asking for a lot of activity to happen as far as what's happening with energy. And energy likes to flow in a constant stream. It doesn't like to be bouncy, right? In this case, that's really one of my biggest tricks, is I maintain a very uniform style of driving and I don't go nuts on it. Now, with that all being said, I have to clarify, I should say, that like everyone else out there, I do play with my car. I love my Tesla. Obviously, I love the acceleration. I love the way this car drives. It's just a blast to have fun with this car. But if I'm gonna go on a trip and I want to maximize my range, these are the steps I take to do that. These are the steps I take to maximize my range. All right, I'll be back with another video. I'm going to record another video after this one. And so that should be an interesting one because it will affect all of you who are going to, well, a Tesla service center. So look forward to the next video. Till then, goodbye and drive safe.